Wait. Here.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, don't you still amaze me? If I find my way home, yeah. If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Don't you still amaze me? If I find my way home, yeah.
This is the move. For those who...
Wait. Here.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
If I find my way home, yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, don't you still amaze me? Wouldn't it be crazy? Oh, don't you still amaze me?
Hey, good evening, everybody. How y'all doing? Happy Wednesday. It is Hump Day. That's right. My name is Andrew Alvarez, and I'm the Latino conservative. Thank you for joining me. We've got a lot to talk about today. Especially we got the President Trump. That's right. He's in the news. And what's he in the news for? For having his First Amendment right violated. So we've got that and a few other things to talk about. But before we get into all that, if you're here on TikTok, hit that like, subscribe, hit that share button, hit the heart, send a rose or something to that extent. If you're here on Facebook or YouTube, hit that like, share, subscribe, comment button on there. Let the algorithm do its work so we can get the word out there so we can have the good work done. Also, what you can do, if you want to help support the show, you can do it one way. The best way for you to do it is to go to the website, thelatinoconservative.com. Right up here at the top, there's this big green banner that says Chime. Now, Chime, what you get with Chime is you get a credit builder account. And what that credit builder account does, it's kind of like a secure credit card, but at the same time, it's not. What it is you get secured by your own direct deposit. If you sign up, not only do I get $100 to help support the show, help it keep it going, but you get $100 as well. It's not just a one-way street here. You know, we can support both each other. Both of us can support each other by you going on and hitting that subscribe to Chime link on thelatinoconservative.com. Before we get started into the meat and potatoes of it, Election Day was today here in Texas, and I'm kind of disappointed. I am really disappointed in Houston, to be honest, because there were 17 candidates out there, and the two candidates that made the runoff were both highly Democratic candidates. Sheila Jackson Lee, of all people, she got less votes than John Whitmire, but they didn't do anything. They didn't campaign at all. Sheila Jackson Lee was too busy raising a fuss over in Washington, D.C. over nothing. By raising a fuss, she would sit there at her desk, which is right by the microphone, kind of like this. So I'm a little disappointed there. How can candidates that are really motivated to do good for the city, that really want to do good for the city, that have the capability to do good for the city because they're in there, they're grounded, they know the city, how can anyone stand a chance if we got people like that who are essentially buying votes? because they spend money, or just because their name, and because some places will vote for this mug here if it had a D next to the name. So my fellow conservatives here, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, we got to get out there. We got to do the work. For those of you that don't know, for those of you that do know, I as well am running for Congress. I'm running against a 20-year incumbent. I know that if I can't get people out there, I don't stand a chance, which is why I'm really trying to broaden my reach. You could also help the campaign out. Go to AndrewAlvarezForCongress.com. It takes you to the website. Now, I really do appreciate shares and comments of the website, but shares and comments do not buy campaign material. Just like a please and thank you will not pay for your rent, like, share, subscribe, comments will not pay for a yard sign, will not pay for a t-shirt, will not pay for a bulletin board. So I'm asking, and there's a link in the comment too as well where you can go donate. Please. It's in the description. Please. 5, 10, 9, 2,500. Whatever you can do would be much appreciated. Speaking of politics, let's get right into the political part of this, because, how would I be considered Latino conservative if I didn't talk a little bit about Donald Trump? So, look at here. There's President Donald Trump. Okay, we all know who that is. But former President Donald Trump has criticized the reinstated gag order in his federal election interference trial, claiming it violates his First Amendment right to free speech. Now, I am an advocate for the First Amendment right. I'm an advocate for all of our constitutional rights. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, all the way down. I'm an advocate for those because I believe those were put in place by our forefathers, and they were pretty smart. They knew what they were doing. It took them a few drafts to get it done, but they were able to figure out what they were doing. Now, I don't advocate for anyone not standing up for those. So, just preventing somebody from saying something. Now, I can understand yelling fire in a theater. It's not a good thing. That could cause some physical damage to people, some physical harm to people. But just going out there saying, hey, you can't say this because we don't want you to say this because it could make us look bad. That's wrong. That is wrong in the most heinous way. Might be a good way to put it. Now, they're acting, and everybody that is saying that Donald Trump can't talk about what he wants to talk about, they're acting like him trying to question the elections is bad. It is a crime. It is a federal felonious offense. Right? That's what they're claiming, right? So let me play this for you. Objection. Who's that speaker, by the way? Oh, look who's sitting right there next to Miss Talib. Oh, look at that. Who's that person there? Who is that? Hey, who's that, Houston? Who is that, Houston? It is over. It is over. So, a lot of objection. A lot of objection there on the Democrat side. So what are we gonna do about them? What are we gonna do about them? TikTok, drop me a comment there. What do you think we should do about that? What do you think we should do about that? Hey, YouTube, Facebook, drop me a comment. TikTok, do me a favor real quick. If you can hear me, I'm trying a new setup here. Let me know. Let me know if you can hear me. Just, send me a like or something like that. Start tapping the screen if you can hear me. So, all of these Democrats here in that video objected to the results, which is exactly what Donald Trump is being charged with. Objecting the results. Trying to decertify, uncertify, decertify because of improper process, which is exactly what each and every one of these representatives did. Texas even, what are they going to do? File a suit against Texas? Charge Texas? Charge Ken Paxton? Because our Attorney General, Ken Paxton, actually sued Pennsylvania. Y'all remember that? Because Pennsylvania unlawfully changed their laws and used COVID as an excuse. Because what happened is Texas followed the law, followed Texas's law. And Pennsylvania did not. They made up some laws. They passed them unconstitutionally on their state level and on the federal level, so they can do their elections however they wanted to do them. Texas, basically, you were a little bit Karen-ish. I will say that, but rightfully so. Hey, we did things the right way. They didn't. So why should our elections mean less, or why should their elections count so much when they didn't follow the process? Same thing in Georgia, Michigan, all of those places. And you had Democrat after Democrat after Democrat in the 2016 elections when Donald Trump first won. All of these Democrats fighting against the election results. And you know what? It happens each and every election cycle. So what makes this different? What makes the judge think they have the right to tell a citizen and a presidential candidate that they cannot speak their mind publicly? That is unconstitutional. That judge should be removed from power. And that is one thing that, and yes, I said power. That is one thing that I plan on pursuing if I win my elections, is I am going to introduce legislation that makes it a crime for any official, elected or non-elected official, to come in and try to pass law or orders or whatever you want to call them that goes against the federal constitution. The federal, just because, it's wrong. The United States Constitution is the basis of laws of the land. United States, Texas is a state, California is a state, and any federal law passed is the same thing. It's federal law, which means that that is the bare minimum. The bare minimum. Also, the maximum. Trying to punish somebody for doing something that's a constitutionally protected activity, the person blocking or attempting to block should go to jail. So, next on the agenda, let's find this article here. Democrats caught using anti-Semitism or anti-Semitic chant. Before I show the screen, drop me a comment. Who do you think is going to be the feature on this article? I'll give you about 3 seconds, long enough for me to, drink my cheese milk cup. By the way, I found this, totally off topic, by the way. I found this coffee creamer that is a chocolate cream creamer. So I put that in my coffee, and then I kick it up a notch with abuelitas. Oh my goodness. Mwah. Fantastic. So abuelitas, Nestle, if you need somebody to, sponsor, I'm your guy. That's what's in the cup. So, okay. So who is the feature of that article? Let's see. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's right. It is none other than Rashida Tlaib.
Udo Cheese Man.
Multiple members of the Democratic Party, including Michigan Attorney General, what's her name? Dana Nessel, Representative Elisa Slotkin, I can't say that name very well, and Senator Jackie Rosen are criticizing, the Democrats are criticizing their own Rashida Tlaib for justifying the pro-Palestinian chant from the river to the sea. Now, going on a little bit further, Tlaib claimed it is an inspirational call. That she's being inspired. They're being inspired. From the river to the sea is an aspirational call for freedom. For freedom, human rights, and peaceful coexistence, not death. Now, so let me tell you this. Let me ask you this. How is that peaceful? People are claiming that Israel and the Jews are occupiers when they're not. Think back to Bible class, Sunday school. You know, that term, the promised land, that was Israel. That was Israel. You know, when Moses led his people out of slavery and captivity from Egypt, crossed the Red Sea, followed the pillar of smoke and the pillar of light at night. 40 years they wandered in the wilderness. God gave them the promised land of Israel. Yeah, that's right. Way back then. And it got taken away from Israel during, the whole Roman Empire era. Back in Jesus' days, it was still Israel. Israel just got it back. And then Israel gave that strip of land, the Gaza Strip is what they call it, to Palestine. So who is really the occupier there? Who's really the occupier there? But why would a U.S. representative be so anti-Semitic and think it's okay? This same representative just is another Democrat that gets elected time after time after time. They get established, they get their feet planted in the ground, and what good are they doing? What good are they doing? Nothing. Now, if this was a Democrat, her fellow Democrats actually criticized her, but if this was a Democrat that went out and do work, I'd have a little more compassion for her. Not against this, not on this issue, but just a little more compassion for her. I don't like anything she does. She has no place as a representative for Americans. Most Americans right now, most of them, except for the woke far left, the woke jokes, most Americans are pro-Israel, pro-Jewish, however you want to call it, anti-war. Now, what from the river to the sea means from the river, I believe it's the Jordan River, over to the Mediterranean Sea. They want all of that land, that whole strip of land. That's about the size of New Jersey and about the same population of it. It's a small country, but Israel's doing big things. Now you see the book of Revelations, the book of Daniel, and Ecclesiastes, all these books, you've seen those unfold in front of our eyes right now. Russia's getting involved. This same person that is calling for essentially the death of the Jews is also calling for an extension and sending more money to Ukraine. Yeah, go figure. Go figure. A lot of people on the left as well that are siding with Palestine and calling for Israel to stop shooting, to cease fire, are saying, Ukraine, go out there and shoot some more. We don't care what Russia does. You go ahead and shoot some more because we want to pay companies like Raytheon, who are sending military batteries and such over there. And by batteries, I'm not talking about the little Energizer ones. I'm talking about the ones that shoot off the missiles. Those Tomahawks, Javelins. Those missiles that cost $200,000 a shot. The Javelin that are shot from the shoulder, the bazooka, $200,000 a shot. Raytheon, produces some of the military that we do out there. Boeing produces a lot of the military. They want to keep spending money on them, but they don't want to do anything to protect Israel. Ukraine, protect your borders. Israel, you cannot. You're not allowed to. I am calling for the same thing that Adolf Hitler did to the Jews to happen to you. I mean, when do the Jews get a break? My thought on that is it may have to wait for the second coming of Jesus Christ. I mean, to be honest, the way I see it, we're kind of in a downward spiral anyway. In fact, I think I might change my Facebook header picture to say rapture ready, just in case it happens. Not that will be the saving grace. I am rapture ready because I am saved by Jesus Christ. So next story. Now for this, you've seen my screen kind of different contrast colors. That's just because I sit in front of a computer screen all day long for work, my full-time job. So I have to make it a little easier on my eyes. That's just what it is. I'm going to have to switch color schemes real quick. So if you give me just a second while I do that. And while I'm doing that, if you can, please, hit that heart button, tap the screen on TikTok. Like this video. Tell me if y'all can hear me on TikTok. I want to make sure, because like I said, I'm using a new setup. I know on the computer you can hear me. I'm pretty dang sure, actually. I hope so. Contrast. So it may actually blink out on me for just a second. If it does, it'll come right back. So, do y'all remember the trans shooter? The transsexual person that shot up a lot of people, that had a manifesto that was sealed up and wasn't allowed to be viewed? Well, it's out there now. It is out there now. And I've got to come up a little to the screen. Oh, let me find it. I'm sorry. Nashville school shooter, Audrey Hales, manifesto leaked. It was basically Steven Crowder had got a hold of the manifesto. Somebody got a hold of it, sent it to him, which is the same thing that happens to people on the right all the time. You know, their documents, their tax information is leaked out, and nobody bats an eye about it. However, Facebook and YouTube, or I should say, Alphabet and Meta, have chosen to stop its distribution, basically, is what it's saying. So I am not going to post it here at all. I won't. If you do a Google search, you can find it. I am more than sure, because it just took me 2 seconds to find that. But this is another fight that I'm working on. It's called Section 230. Section 230 gives publishing companies like Google, like Facebook, Twitter, or X, gives companies like that who publish or who have a space for people to publish news. It gives them the opportunity to take it down. Just randomly choose to take it down. But it also gives them the opportunity to say they're not responsible for what's being published. In a nutshell, it gives them control over what people see and hear. Do you remember when Ted Cruz wrote a letter to Google about the state of Georgia? Basically trying to ask, hey, what's going on here? Why are these results happening? Well, what was happening is Google had a search engine bias, which, during the election times would show anti-Republican material. Quite frankly, that happened to me too. I was searching for information about my favorite candidate in the Houston mayoral election, who was very conservative. He didn't even appear anywhere in the search results. The only people that led the search results were Sheila Jackson Lee and John Whitmire, both Democrat candidates. That's it. Typed in the word Houston mayoral election, and every page that was published only published John Whitmire and Sheila Jackson Lee. How can they get away with that? I took a couple screenshots, and I'm going to question that here. Meta or Facebook does the same thing. What they will do, and what they did during the 2020 elections, was they went in, and there was a survey done. There's I forget which company did it. I believe it was the one that James O'Keefe ran, where they have a group of about 10,000 people that they surveyed, that they measured about who got what elections. 100% of them that were Democrat got election reminders to go vote. Less than half of them that were Republicans got reminders, notifications to go vote. See how that works? And when that happens, these publicly owned companies, they're not private. X is now private, Twitter's now private, but these publicly owned companies are in direct violation of the freedom of speech. People say back and forth, people say all the time, well, Facebook or Meta is a privately owned company by Meta, by Mark Zuckerberg. No, it's not. Had he kept it and had he not gone IPO, then it could be. Then it very well could be. But it's not. He decided to take it into IPO status, sold shares. I can go in there and own a share right now if I wanted to, but I refuse to own a piece of Facebook. That's just me. Principle. Same thing with Meta. They are a publicly owned company. Both of those companies, Meta and Alphabet, are non-subscription based. You don't have to pay to be a member of them, nor do you have to pay to be a member of Twitter. You can. There is that option. You get that blue check, but you don't have to. These are all publicly accessible platforms. So why are they blocking news? Real news. They're blocking and they're taking away people's right to information. When I was first growing up in my business, my industry, the sales industry. Sorry about that. When I was first growing up in my sales industry business career, back in 1999, when I had my first sales job, I was going door to door selling Kirby's. I was also looking for other things to sell because that's just me. I'm a salesperson. And I know when I am not working, I still need to work something else to try to make ends meet, try to make myself successful. Just me. I saw a quote that the most profitable product ever out there is a non-tangible item called information. Non-tangibles are the most profitable item out there. Whether that's information or in the car business that I'm in now, there are warranties. You can't touch it. You can't see it. You can't smell it. Information. You can't touch it. You can't see it. You can't smell it. You can hear it. You might be able to read the paper, but show me an information. Show me a warranty that you can touch. 3D, has length, has depth, has width. You can't. These companies, Alphabet and Meta, they are violating that. They're violating our right to the information. So, I have no doubt that had this been something that happened by a conservative shot somebody, or somebody in general that does not fit the narrative, it feels a straight white man, straight Republican, conservative, libertarian even. They got some crazy libertarians out there. I believe that manifesto would have been leaked way earlier and by this time put in the constitutional congressional archives by now. Just because that's the way the media works. And I know I'm just a small voice of it. I'm just myself doing it. But you know what? If I can reach one person out there to let them know I can reach the right person out there to let them know, then I did my job. Hey guys, thank you all for joining me for this week's Latino Conservative. Thanks for letting me rant and rave at you. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe to this podcast. Hit that heart button. Give me a few likes out there. Yeah, I know I'm barely out there. Let me know if you can hear me. I don't know if you can hear me or not on there on TikTok because this is a new setup. I don't think I can because I don't see anybody there. But oh well, it happens. Every Wednesday at 7 Central, I go live here. Catch me tomorrow. Look up at Andrew Alvarez TX on Instagram and YouTube and on Facebook. Either one of those. Whichever one you want to watch live, I'll be live on any one of those, talking about my campaign. I'll answer some questions. I'll go over some different topics, some more political topics, more policy type style topics and whatnot. But that is from 6:30 to 7. You can submit your questions on each and every one of those pages. There's a link where you can go to submit your questions. So I really look forward to, and my phone just died, so no more TikTok, but I really look forward to seeing y'all next week. Y'all have a great day.